2, 1, and we're live.
We're back.
Sort of. Welcome to the Underdog Journey. I'm Wes. This guy is David. I think I'm pointing in the right direction.
Yes.
And today we're a little mixed up because somebody thought it was a great idea to replace all the landline cables in my neighborhood. So my neighborhood has no internet if you have a landline.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You use AT&T, correct?
I use AT&T, but it's not AT&T's fault. It's whatever utility company is replacing replacing all the lines.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing AT&T can do. As much as I really don't like AT&T right now, this one isn't their fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
what that
how are
means
things on your
is,
end?
ladies and gentlemen, poor Dave over here is the one trying to manage the podcast tonight, which is all kinds of fun. So I'm switching over here. Got to go to the live and just all kinds of stuff. So there we go. Hey, I got it on Facebook, so that's good. I need to make sure it stays muted, and
All right.
that means we're in good shape here. Hey, we're working.
I'm seeing that we're on Facebook, so we're
good to
live,
go,
whether we like it or not.
So if we're hitting Facebook, that probably means we're hitting YouTube. So happy days, happy days, happy days. So with all the stress just before the show, as we're trying to set this up, and we had to start an hour earlier to get this thing all set up tonight. Making sure we had all the right links and all the stuff pre-set up in all the other places so we could hit restream and make this all work. You were flip-flopping back between bourbon, beer. So you went with beer. I seen you drinking the beer there. So tell us about what you got there tonight.
I went with beer because you made it sound so good. I was a little stressed out, so I was thinking I might need a bourbon tonight. But after we got everything set up, I'm like, okay, beer sounds good. The problem, though, is I didn't have any good craft beer. I haven't had a chance to shop for beer in a while. So I had a couple of standbys in the fridge. So I'm drinking Toasted Bock from Leinenkugel tonight. And it's good. It's fine. It's
It looks like we're on one of those shows where they blur the logos and stuff. There we go. We got it. The Leinenkugel. Toasted Bock. Nice. I love a good Bock beer.
It's good. It's fine. It's a little flavorful. It's not quite as robust as I would like. Not quite what you'd get from a local craft brewer, but it's fair. It's fine. Leinenkugel did a good job. Yeah. What are you drinking? What do you got?
Well, actually, I almost out of it here, but I'm drinking out of my gold rimmed Hofbrau. This is actually a Hefeweizen glass. This was specifically built and shaped to drink Hefeweizen out of.
Mm-hmm.
It's got. I point this out because I'm having a hard time because I want to get another one of these. I'm having a hard time locating the gold rimmed.
Oh, really?
They got them all over the place without that, but it's actually quite hard to find it. But this is what was in there was actually a surprise. I found it in my little beer fridge over here. The Trap Dunkel, which is a dark lager for those of you in Rio Linda. And this is actually out of Vermont, is the brewery, and it's an Austrian. It's not an Australian, but an Austrian style beer.
Austrian.
Yeah.
Throw another shrimp on the barbie.
Austrian, not Australian. And I don't think they say that in Australia either.
It was a Dumb and Dumber.
What was that? That was the remake of the Dukes of Hazzard, where they made that comment.
No, that was a Dumb and Dumber reference. That was where Jim Carrey was standing outside the hotel, and there's this hot lady, and he's like, "Where are you from?" She's like, "I'm Austrian." He said, "Throw another shrimp on the barbie."
Yes.
That was Dumb and Dumber.
That was Dumb and Dumber. I'm thinking of the Dukes and Hazzard reference, but yes, two lovely ones. So I've got that, and let's just finish that off now. Stevie,
there you go.
Is happy Thanksgiving, fellas.
Hey, Stevie. Absolutely happy Thanksgiving to you too.
I love this. I love this glass. So I'm walking around here, trying to find a beer vessel for this evening. I've got plenty of them, like my water glass here. Also a Hofbrau House item. But I've got all of these 1 liter and bigger drinking vessels. And I'm sorry, man, I really wish I had a Hofbrauhaus pint glass. But I don't want to drink a pint of Hofbrau beer at Hofbrau. I want to drink it by the liter there. But when I'm here and drinking other things like this Devil's Backbone Oktoberfest that I'm about to crack open,
you need a normal sized glass, right?
Yeah, I need something that's not. No offense to any other brewers out there, because there's a lot of good beers, and I do like a lot of them. But I don't necessarily want to drink a liter of a lot of other beer.
Right. Exactly. Well, plus you look silly when you put a single bottle or can into a liter glass.
Yeah, you put 12
which is why I have my Hofbrau liter glass here, and I put one of these in there, and I was like, oh, it fills up like that high.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I got to pour a few more in there, fill it out.
So that's good. We're gonna let that warm up a little bit.
The only person in the world who complains about cold beer. So
no. Come wait. So anyway, actually, here's something of special note. I sent out to the we're part of a Stomptish group, and we got a Facebook Stomptish group that we collaborate in. There is a beer festival of some sort in March. It's taking place at the COSI building in Columbus.
COSI, that's a great place.
50 breweries, over 150 beers.
Wow.
And the rates on it aren't that bad. I'm going to go ahead and buy mine this week. Probably tonight or tomorrow, so that I guarantee that I get in. Because
no kidding.
I think this will sell out.
Yeah, send me a link to that. That's awesome.
Yes.
That's good to know.
If you're a member of the Stomptish, and if you're not a member of the Stomptish, meet us at the Hofbrauhaus 5 times, and we'll make you a member of the Stomptish. But so I'm going to do a little shopping tonight. I'm going to do a little bit of shopping tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
But everybody does shopping on Friday.
I was going to say, here's the question. Are you doing any Black Friday shopping?
I think I am going to go out there. Now, I used to work with a lady. Her name is Kathy.
Okay.
And she loved Black Friday. She's like, I want to be in the fray. I want to be in it. I want to be in the middle of it. I want to see the ruckus. I want to see the people running. I want to see if they, the anxiety of, am I going to get this one of 400 for the entire world toy that my kid wants? And then see the defeat when you know you're not. She wants to be in all that. And then I've got people like my wife who are like, Amazon.
Yep, exactly.
She'll go to a mall, but if the mall's empty, that's more her style. I don't mind going out and getting into it. But I just know I'm going out for this one or two things. And if I'm one of those people of rarity that I want these few things, but I don't mind a couple side trips if you guys can imagine that. I like, going down rabbit holes in real life, not just while I'm talking on the internet. Like, oh, look over here, and I'll go through it, and I'll come back out to my main line and keep right on doing what I was doing. So what about you, my friend? Are you going out on Friday?
Absolutely not. I refuse to do any shopping on Black Friday. I don't do any of it. I won't even buy gas on Black Friday. It is not for me. So, my mom and all the ladies in my
frowny
family.
Face. Careful, you're gonna get frowny face.
Yeah, she leaves frowny faces on her videos. But all the ladies in my family, they love doing the whole, lining up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and doing the whole thing. And I'm like, it's terrible. I've done it a couple times, and there is nothing about that I like. I've literally seen people start fights over pillows, like a bed pillow, because apparently they're really good pillows and they're a great price. It's totally worth punching somebody in the face for. So yeah, there's nothing out there that I want on Black Friday. Besides, tell me one thing you can get in a store that you're actually able to get, not one of these $99 laptops that they only have 3 of. Tell me one thing you can get in a store that you can't find a better price online for.
Oh, it's always impossible.
It doesn't.
It's always impossible
it doesn't
now.
Exist.
So I actually went through, and there's they used to have the beef ads, which was Black Friday ads. Well, that's
Yeah.
gone. They got bought by somebody else. They've shut that down all as a placeholder because they know that that website would get a ton of traffic. So they're just trying to pick up the traffic and have it redirected over instead of just redirecting it, which is what I would have done.
Yeah.
Come on,
Right. Of
man.
course.
You're paying to have that there. You may as well pay to have it redirected. So when people hit it, it literally just bounces them straight over to your website.
Right.
But there's another one out there. It's called Black Friday, but something along them lines. And I actually have been going on there for the last probably 2.5 weeks, really checking them out. Not because I'm really trying to put together a shopping list, but because I'm actually comparing prices. What is the price now? And what is the price going to be then? Is it worth my time to enter into the fray, as it was, stand in a line like I'm at freaking Disney to check out? I mean, there's no cool ride. I don't get to see pirates at the end of this. I get to see Margaret struggling to operate a touchscreen freaking cash register now.
Yeah, exactly.
That we talked a few weeks. All right, this isn't going political, but it's going to be.
Getting close.
We talked a few weeks ago about the Great Resignation.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, there is a demographic of people who are taking massive advantage of that, and that is the older group.
Yeah,
they're out there in droves, and we have taken all of our technology and poured into everything from a diner
I know where you're going with this.
Checking out. And now we have all of us young whippersnappers, well, people younger than me, are just saying, screw it. I'm going to wait till something better comes along. And they're going home and just chilling for a while. And now we got all these people out there that they can't operate a rotary telephone. And we got them out there using touchscreen square POSs. And they look like me trying to do quantum math.
It's going to be interesting. Look, from the employee's perspective, years ago, long time ago, I worked retail, like most people, and on Black Friday, you weren't allowed to call off. You weren't allowed to be sick. You weren't if you were an employee, you had to be there.
Yep.
And literally at I think it was like 3 a.m. when they opened the doors. As soon as they opened the doors, people literally sprinted to the back of the stores, top speed.
Yep.
I don't even know if they had anything specific in mind. They just wanted to be the first ones to get whatever was there.
Yeah. I have sprinted in a store one time after camping out all night, and that was back to buy a $1,000 plasma television. Now, H.H. Gregg, so I mean, they're gone, and they deserve to be gone. They were a garbage company. But you want to know how I really feel about it? But no.
Tell us how you feel about H.H. Gregg.
We camped out. Me and a couple other friends camped out. So we all wanted this TV. Okay. And we counted the number of people through. We talked to them. We were locked. We had it. We were in the group of people. We knew how many they had. We were there. No issues.
Yeah.
Well, they basically opened the doors and said, make a mad dash for it. So we're running through there. No. And somebody bumped into me. And I was like, literally in my head, I can get a $1,000 TV, or I can just wipe out and get $1 million settlement. And it did cross my mind because I was pushed, and the way that they had encouraged this, because they were revving it up.
You could have owned H.H. Gregg.
They would still be a business if I did that, but actually no, they would have settled for that much. But $1 million settlement. I mean, and if I wipe out, I'm going to wipe out dramatically. It literally flashed my head. I'm like, no, I want the TV. But this was back when, that television was like a $4,000 television. So to get it for 25% of the cost, and it was plasma too. That means that son of a biscuit was heavy.
Right.
I mean, those things were heavy. And then, of course, all of us plasma TV owners were like, don't put it on a TV channel that's got a little logo in the bottom corner of it because I don't want it to burn in. And then we're constantly changing channels and things to make sure we don't ruin our TVs. Oh, it's terrible. Before you go, and I want to talk about Beyonce's album. I would like to point out that my mom, Laura L. Lyons Black, said, "Happy Thanksgiving to you both and your families," and left likey buttons, not frowny faces.
Laura Lyons Black, we love you.
She's winning in the
If
mom category.
my mom is watching right now, you know what? We love
Where's
you too.
those
Just
like buttons?
don't leave a frowny face. Again,
Uh,
I'll never let her forget it.
uh, 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 well, no. So yeah, okay. So actually, we're talking a lot about Black Friday because Black Fridays are kind of our topic for the evening.
Yeah.
And let's actually it's 7:16. That's actually a little ahead of schedule for where we would normally be getting into our topic.
Because we didn't talk about the news today. We didn't
Oh, the news.
do the
Oh,
news.
wait, we got to be like Jeremy Clarkson. And now the news.
And now the news.
Wait, that's Walter Cronkite.
And now the news.
Do I need to make a fake mustache or I just cover up the
I
beard?
can't. Yeah, there you go.
And that
I would grow a mustache. Then I would look
it
like a fifth grader.
we should do it. You know what? If we get 100 shares of this video,
Okay.
West is going to. Oh, what happened there? You guys get 100 shares of this video, West will grow out his facial hair for 2 months.
Oof. You ever seen Joe Dirt?
I know that's what you keep saying. I want to see it.
It's true. It's all bad. Yeah. Joe Dirte. Exactly. It's genetic. I can't help it. That's how it grows.
So what do we got news wise?
So we got your camera's doing something crazy over there.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. If I pulled a button or not.
So I got a couple interesting ones here. First, so a couple weeks ago, Mark Zuckerberg came out and said that they are officially switching the corporate, main company of Facebook. They're changing the name, they're rebranding to Meta, to better embrace the metaverse where we're all gonna be living in the Ready Player One world. In the near future. Right, exactly. So funny thing is though, apparently either they didn't do their homework or they just didn't care because they're Facebook. There was already a company named Meta.
Ooh, I did not hear this. This is new to me.
Yeah, this is from entrepreneur.com. I was going to show it on screen, but considering I can't show my screen because I'm Skyping in, thank you, utility company, for turning off my internet.
Now, just let everybody know.
And they didn't turn off the internet. They cut off the internet to the whole neighborhood, not just me.
just to be sure to everybody, we could try to share the desktop, and I could put this up on the screen. Odds are we're going to end up watching a YouTube video on how to cook a steak out in the woods. So we're not going to go down.
It might get good views. We don't know. So it's on entrepreneur.com, and there is a company called Meta PC, which actually a few weeks prior, actually back in August, they presented documents to convert their name officially to Meta instead of Meta PC, and that was actually just before Facebook also tried to file the same documents. Unfortunately, this company did it first, and being the great, wonderful people that they are, the Meta PC company, they decided that they would happily sell the Meta name to Facebook for $20 million.
I
can't say I blame
them.
I would ask for more. It's Facebook.
Yeah. Make hay while the sun's shining. Right now, buddy, the sun is shining on them bright.
Look, because you know for a fact that Facebook, they probably knew about it. There was probably some lawyer somewhere who told Mark, hey, there's a company named Meta.
Yeah.
And he was like, whatever, just do it. Because they're Facebook. That's what they do. They're a steamroller. And that's fine. That's their prerogative. Just like it's this other company's prerogative to request $20 million for the name Meta.
There would be a couple more zeros on that.
Yeah, so here's
they're spending $20 million just in branding.
Mm-hmm.
When I say branding, I mean branded merchandise, business cards, logos on shirts. They're spending $20 million just there.
Right. So here's a line from the Entrepreneur article. It says the $20 million that Meta PC asks for the name registration is actually a trifle compared to the $124 billion that makes up the estimated fortune of the creator of Facebook. So look, there should have been at least one extra zero on that $20 million.
I'm going with $200 million. No, it has to be $2 billion.
I said
$2 billion.
Yeah, 2 billion. You asked for 2 billion.
What are they going to do? What the hell?
Good point.
You literally barrel Facebook over the barrel.
That's true.
I ever have a chance to put Facebook over the barrel?
Well, and here's the really funny thing. Here's why the Meta PC company should have asked for more. They should have asked for more because at this point, since Facebook already announced they're changing to Meta, they've already put all of the collateral into that rebranding.
Mm-hmm.
It would actually cost Facebook more than $20 million to reverse this and change to something else.
Further, if Facebook didn't want to do it and didn't want to pay and they said do it, from the time that Facebook made the launch, possibly and probably with knowledge of the other existence of the Meta, to where they're at now, if you try to sell something, or because about 95% of the time that I'm on Facebook, which is a sad test, I'm on the Facebook marketplace. I love to try to find a deal. You know, this guy's got a truck for $2,500. Man, that'd be great. I'll buy that thing, put a couple grand into it, flip that sucker out. Do I ever actually do it? No, but I'd love to think about it. And I'm constantly on there. And there's a few things that come by and I'm like, click, 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 click. I want that. I want that. I want that. And then they never have it, or it's a scam, you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah. No, I can't. For some reason, my Facebook Messenger is not working. Email me at this email address. Get the hell out of here.
Right. But, yeah.
But if you look at it right now, every place that they're doing one of those sales things, you'll see underneath it that says Meta is matching up to $8 million put towards the marketplace.
Okay.
They've got $8 million. Now, $8 million is literally... So right here, we're talking about a guy asking for $20 million for the name. Meta,
right,
which is what they're branded. So they could potentially, if they don't want to sell at $20 million or $200 million or $2 billion, which is where I would have started, work me down because I ain't going to work you up. You know?
Right. Well, and here's the thing. This company, they probably could have sold the entire company plus the brand as a package deal to a Facebook competitor.
Yeah.
To anybody in the world who would ever even have dreams of competing with Facebook, and just say, you know what?
Microsoft, go make a bid for $30 million today.
Absolutely. Yeah. If Bill Gates isn't jumping on this, he's crazy.
Bill, I know you watch our podcast.
There should be a bidding war. There should be a bidding war for that.
Yeah. And I drive it up. I mean, guy who actually owns the real Meta / Meta PC, you need to be reaching out and making some waves and getting some attention, because that can go a race to the top real quick. Because,
well, I'll tell you,
Microsoft may not want it. They'd rather pay for it than let Facebook have it.
You know, it'd be awesome if they put it on eBay. Put it on eBay with a $20 million minimum bid, just to see what happens.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing. That would be amazing. That would make global,
you know what?
Make global news.
I don't. I've sold, I think, 2 things in my entire life on eBay. I've bought a ton, but I think I've only sold 2 things. But I might sell this pencil.
The pencil. This
pencil right here.
Okay. What's so great about this pencil?
And it's Chinese royal family yellow pencil, which is why these are yellow, by the way. And just listed as a pencil never used by Abraham Lincoln. And $1,000.
Truth in advertising.
People are spending tons and tons more money than that on fake bitmaps created in Microsoft Paint on the NFTs. So,
man,
I mean, I'll actually send you the pencil. Guaranteed to never have been used by Abraham Lincoln.
We need to do another NFT show, because there's been a lot of NFT hoopla going on.
I've read tons and tons of stories from tons and tons of people, and you know what every one of them say? The only purpose for NFT is money laundering.
You're not wrong.
For the current state, not for what they're going to be. You and I both believe that it is an ingenious way. So if your identity is tied up in an NFT and it's part of a blockchain, it's going to be damn near impossible to hijack your identity in the future once we get to this point. It's the way to do it. But we're not there yet.
Currently,
if you want if you've sold drugs in 2021, using blockchain NFTs may save you money in taxes and jail time. Unless
if my last name were Soprano, and I had some money that I wanted, and I had some money that I wanted to make legitimate, I wanted to pay taxes on this. Guess what I would do? I would create a few NFTs, and I would say, "Hey, Mister somebody in this other foreign country that I don't know that for some reason wants to give me lots of money. Hey, buy my NFT for $100 million."
Yep.
That way, I get to pay taxes on it, and I don't get to go to jail for money laundering.
Yep. So bad.
Because it's totally legitimate. Look, I'm not recommending people do that. I'm just saying that you could totally do it if you were so inclined.
On the Underdog journey, how to launder money.
How to launder money.
It's not us. We've said it. Okay, so there are uses, titles, deeds, cars. All these things that you're going to be able to do in the future. It will be there in the future. Right now,
as far as the NFT,
as far as NFTs go, but right now, think about how hard it would be for somebody to steal your identity, to open a credit card, a bank account, or drain your retirement funds if your identification was two-factor, you and the blockchain. Do you understand how many computers that one would have to literally hack simultaneously to get one person? Because once it's processed, guess what? It's a whole new section that now they got to do it again.
Right. Essentially, without the use of
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, essentially, without the use of quantum computing, which very few people in the entire world have right now, it's almost impossible to actually hack the blockchain. It's almost impossible. Now, look, once quantum computing is widely available, that might be a different story. But right now, somebody sitting in the middle of Siberia somewhere with a room full of dusty old PCs, all daisy chained together, they're not going to be able to do it.
No. So if there's a movie, I absolutely love this movie. It is called The Imitation Game with Benedict Cumberbatch. And it's about cracking the Enigma code during the Enigma machine during World War II.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Well,
true story, by the way. I'm not usually into true stories. That's a true story.
Yes, based upon a true story. So, what most people aren't going to know, the telephone that you're working on right now, right? You're on your phone. I'm on my MacBook. Everybody out there watching, all the 4.5 million people that are viewing right now, all of you guys, you are using a version of that machine, the Alan Turing machine.
Right. Sort of. It was so basically
much advanced.
The computer that Alan Turing created to crack the Enigma code in World War II was basically the world's first digital computer.
Yes.
And he created it. If you haven't seen the movie, watch the movie. It's amazing.
Absolutely watch the movie. There's another movie I got a recommendation for too that most people would not think that it would come from this guy right here. Big fat beer drinking guy with a cigar in his hand. Big fat beer drinking guy with a cigar in his hand. It's called Bottle Shock. It's actually about wine.
No, it's a great movie too, yeah.
That is a phenomenal movie. Now, we'll do movie reviews another time, but tonight we wanted to talk about the news, and we got through the one story. Well, guess what, Meta? Meta's not Meta. Meta's other Meta, but not that Meta. Not the Meta that's the Facebook Meta, but the Meta that was the PC Meta.
Yep, another Meta.
And $20 million is a drop in the bucket ask for more money. All right, what other
more than 20 million.
Okay, so we got up to 7:30 now.
This is right. The news sucks up a lot.
That's why we skip the news. That's why if you skip a whole segment of your show, it's easy. It gets done earlier.
This will be quick though because I don't know football. This is related to football, but there is a football player Let's see, Sean Culkin. He plays for Kansas City Chiefs. He has decided to take his 2021 base salary, which is, well, apparently not a lot. He's apparently not a very good football player. $920,000. He's taking his whole base salary in Bitcoin. He is taking his entire NFL salary in Bitcoin.
Well,
which is pretty. Look, that's ballsy. And maybe he's sitting on a bunch of other money that I don't know about, but that's pretty impressive. I mean, that's putting a lot of faith in it. And it is kind of a gamble. A lot of people keep saying, "Oh, by the end of the year, it's going to be $100,000." They said that last year, and
it's not going to be $100,000, guys.
They keep saying that, and that's never the case. Here's one thing that they're not reporting, though, is he's also doing this through a Bitcoin broker. I'm trying to find the name here, but he's actually working through a Bitcoin broker. So I'm sure he's receiving a pretty nice royalty from this company to buy all of his Bitcoin through this company, in addition to advertising, "Oh, I'm taking all of my money in Bitcoin. You should do the same thing." And while you're at it, go through this company as well.
So let's see here.
So that's my guess.
Where is it? Oh, crud. Where'd it go?
What's happening?
My app changed, so I don't have right on the front screen the cryptos. Here it is. Bitcoin's up at $57,516. So it's only down, from when I really started thinking about buying it. It's only down a few thousand by $7,000 a coin right now. And because it was at 64,000 when I was thinking about buying it. And in that time frame, it dipped down to like $39,000 in that time frame. Since then,
well,
Dogecoin's at 21.5 right now cents.
The first time I heard about Bitcoin was somebody telling me, "Hey, there's this thing you can do with your computer where you just leave it running all the time, running this program, and it'll do this thing called mining these Bitcoins." And at the time, somebody told me about this. It seemed completely useless and ridiculous to me. They were about 25 cents.
Yeah.
A Bitcoin. So
yeah, look, I'd like to have a few of those.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. I should be a Winklevoss brother right now, but it didn't happen.
Yep. So I'd actually talked about the Sono Group, and they're at 18.
That's right.
But we're up $3 a share on it from whenever you have an IPO, man, it always looks really good. But even after hours, it's actually doing pretty good today. But again, this is one of those companies I think that the value's not necessarily in the company. Mm-hmm. It's going to be in the licensing of their technology. I think once that happens, that stock, I believe, is going to go way up. So, Black Friday. So
Black Friday. We talked a little bit about Black Friday at the beginning of the show, but it's going to be an interesting one this year because 2020 that changed everything, right?
Yes. So here, one of the things is the demand has not went down.
No.
Something has.
Some stats. Yeah.
The supply has went down.
Well, that's another kind of wild card in this whole thing is the supply chain issue.
Yeah.
Right. So if in ideal situations, let's look at it to begin with under ideal situations. Let's say the shelves were fully stocked. There was no supply chain issue. How are things going to be compared to last year, even 2019? Because this time 2019, everything was pretty normal, right? Nobody had even heard of COVID-19. They hadn't even named it COVID-19 yet, because technically nobody was supposed to know about it yet. That's a different story. 2020 was the first year in probably decades where a lot of these stores were actually closed completely on Black Friday. And 2021, there's kind of the novelty of people getting back out there again. So let's look at some of the numbers here. So in 2020, Thanksgiving weekend, it drew 186.4 million U.S. shoppers. This is 2020, which was down. How if you had to guess without looking, I know I already sent you the numbers. Have you looked at the numbers?
I see it.
All
Go
right, let's
ahead.
do the.
No, no, go ahead. I'm looking at the
How
numbers,
much?
but I don't know what question you're asking.
If you
Here,
hadn't looked at the numbers, I was going to ask you, how much do you think? How many fewer shoppers do you think there would be in 2020 versus 2019?
in-person live shoppers, brick and mortar.
Just shoppers overall.
Shoppers, I would have said an increase just because people would have gotten to, and I'm not looking, I'm not reading, I'm just thinking about, honestly, about how I would think about it. I would say just because people had kind of got acclimated in December of 2020 or late November 2020 to the global plague sniffles of death, that a lot of interactions, I think, I would have thought it went up.
Okay, well, so 2019 versus 2020. In 2020, it actually dropped. It did drop a little bit, but by only 1.7%. That's amazing because a lot of people were predicting it was going to drop significantly because the economy was supposedly rocky. I mean, you and I knew that people were still itching to spend their money, but shoppers only dropped by 1.7%. And here's the thing.
Economist, hold on. Economist, you guys can go back to the archives that are reserved at the Library of Congress, where they keep the each individual episode of the Underdog Journeys in a cryogenically frozen pod hard drive, so that it's there for all posterity. Now, you can go back and look at the number of times that. Wait, I gotta remember this side. That guy right there, I said it a couple times, but I know that guy right there, more than 5-10 times, said people have money and they're itching to spend it. And
they
all
do.
The freaking manufacturers out there were like, "Oh, we need to cut staff, we need to cut supply, we need to cut this, we need to stop ordering so many raw materials," and they cut way back on their stuff. And we're sitting here going, "Whoa, guys, no. That's not how the world's working right now. People want stuff, people want things, and you guys are all cutting it back. This is not going to work well," which is partially what has happened to our supply chain today.
Well, I know that you and I both hate to be the people who say "I told you so," but
we effing told you so.
Well, check this out. Even though the actual number of shoppers, this is online and in store, even though the actual number of shoppers dropped by 1.7%, the sales actually increased from 2019 to 2020 by just over 19%. So let's see. 2019 sales were $5.1 billion.
Okay.
In 2020, they were $14.3 billion.
Holy shnikes.
Yeah. So look, when you and I were talking about people have money, they're just itching to spend it. Boy, that was true. So again, that was just over 19% increase in actual revenue generated. So
wait a minute. I'm having a problem with the math here. Wait a minute. All right. For those of you in Rio Linda, I got to look at the math here a little bit more. Wait a minute. We did 5.1 billion in 2019, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on. Yep. Nope. I only read you one of the numbers. I only read you the.
I'm like, wait a minute. That's like 40%. That's like 47% or something.
So no, I read you the wrong stat. So
okay.
Let's see. So I only read you the Thanksgiving Day numbers for 2020. I was looking at the wrong thing. I don't have the actual sales for 2019.
Okay.
But in 2020, there was a $14.13 billion in sales, which was 19% over 2019.
Okay. All right.
Now,
Black Friday.
My math isn't wrong.
Okay.
So,
we were just missing one of the metrics. That's okay.
Yes.
All right.
So here's some interesting stats. So I dug into some other stats for Black Friday. So I was going to show this stuff on the screen, but guess what? Unfortunately, I can't.
Here we go.
Show the screen. All right, I was going to show you some stuff on the screen, but
you guys listen to him because this guy forgot to grab his beer out of the fridge. I just got those 2 pregame beers, so I'm gonna go grab other beers while you talk. I know. Had I
Man.
used, well, I wasn't drinking
Oh,
three.
geez. Never forget the beer, David.
I
You should know
wasn't.
better.
No,
I even went to go get beer.
I wasn't drinking three of any type of beer. So I didn't want to get my big glasses. I've got them all over the place here, but I just used this little half liter. And so, uno momento, si por favor, señores and señoritas.
All right. So I'm going to try and kill some time while this guy's going to get
I'm not that far away.
Get some alcoholic beverages. So before the show, I actually put a poll on Instagram. Hey, that was quick. All right. So before the show, I actually put a poll on Instagram and asked, is anybody doing any Black Friday shopping? Everyone who responded up to this point, 100% said no. Now, whether you believe online polling or not, literally 100% said no. So here's some other stats this is from Finder.com. And they run surveys on retail, this kind of stuff. What are you drinking there, David? What is that?
That is Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Peppermint Porter. I'm gonna leave this one out here to get warmed up a little bit because I don't want to start with that. I want to finish with that. That's going to be a good finishing beer.
That's good.
Like 10.5% or something like that. So it comes out swinging. We've got this is probably what I'll start with. This is a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's from Anchor Brewing.
Ooh, Anchor's good. I have the big 72.
This is I'll save that one for showing last. But then we've got the Delirium Noel as well.
Oh, what style is that? Is that a Christmas ale?
I think it's a Belgian.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a Belgian. It might be a triple actually. Let me see if I can find the alcohol content. But I think it's like a Belgian triple.
Okay.
Interesting. Oh yeah, it's 10%. It's a Belgian triple. So yeah, that one's good. And then here's one that for those of you that live in Central Ohio and don't live in the Rocks, you remember a place called the Pub up at Polaris.
Man, their Bloody Mary Sundays were great.
Old Speckled Hen.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a nice British beer. Yeah.
Good British beer. This is what we're going with next. We'll do the Christmas in a little bit, but these are the beers. Those are the beers I actually selected to drink for tonight. But we started pre-gaming because I had to set the show up over here. So I grabbed a couple of my standby. John Calendar says Scotch eggs.
Scotch. I love good Scotch egg. That's good, tasty stuff. I might even have some Scotch after this. So as far as people who say they will shop on Black Friday, here's some interesting things. 11% of adults say they'll shop because they think they'll find a good deal. 6% of people polled said they're going to go shopping to stave off boredom. Another 11% said they're going shopping, but they couldn't give a good specific reason why. So some very strong feelings there. Can't you tell? Let's see. Here's a good one. Why aren't Americans going shopping on Black Friday? It turns out that 8% of American adults think the retailers inflate prices before the sales, which I don't want to be. I hate conspiracy theories.
Coles.
I'm not somebody who likes conspiracy theories, but it's aliens. Do you honestly think that retailers inflate their prices just so they can then decrease them later?
I have a problem with a sale. I always want the deal. I want to get a good deal. But I have a problem with any sale at any time through any company, anywhere.
Because the low price should be the normal price.
If you can do this, and coupons, don't get in front of me. So when I go to the checkout, and when I go through the checkouts at grocery stores and whatnot, I don't go based upon how many items people, if I got to get in a line, I don't go based on how many people or how many items these people have. I look at them and go, are you going to bitch about a nickel? If the answer is yes, haggling. I'll go wait in a line that's got 5 times as many more people with 10 times more stuff.
I hate haggling. You're right. I would rather, in fact, I've done this. I would rather pay more just so I don't have to haggle. I hate haggling. It's the worst.
Yes. Now, I on certain a car, if it's a flat
Okay.
price car, I want nothing to do with it. I guarantee you, I
Okay.
can find a better price on that same exact vehicle somewhere else.
Okay.
More importantly, as a sales guy, I know how important it is to a lot of people to think they got a deal. It's regardless of whether they got a
Yeah.
deal or not. It's the perception that they got a deal.
It is a lot of purchases. It's psychological. It's that feeling of satisfaction, and
Yeah.
part of that satisfaction for some people is feeling like they got one over on the person selling the thing.
Yes, and it's
That's why you have like a lot of old school dads going to help their kids, or or wives, if they feel like their wives can't do it, go to buy a car because they think, I'll do the dealing for you. And
you
they
know
think they're all walking in there like they're going to get a deal from this car salesman without realizing they just paid an arm and a leg when they could have paid a lot less going someplace else.
I don't get triggered by a lot. I was watching a commercial the other day that I think it was Carvana or Vroom. Vroom.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So this lady goes in and she's trying to buy a car. And she's sitting there talking, I want an SUV with a V8, SUV with a V8. And nobody in this place is listening to her. So she
Yeah.
gets out this puppet of a man and says,
Oh,
have a,
no. Come
I'd
on.
like to have a SUV with a V8. And all the guys are like, oh, yeah, right away. Absolutely. And they're talking to this puppet. And I'm like, that is as sexist and ridiculous. That is absolutely offensive to the nines.
It should be offensive. Look, we're not going to get into politics or
Yes.
what triggers people,
Yeah.
but that should be offensive to men and women.
Yes, it should. It was across the board bad. It wouldn't if it came out after our show about
Yeah.
absolute dismal
Terrible
failures in advertising and commercials.
Yeah.
Or I would have said that's got to be in there.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
How terrible it was. It was pushing nothing good. There was no benefit to take out of this except that if you sit home and don't deal with anybody, Vroom doesn't judge you.
Well, so we're not gonna get into the politics, but clearly that was written by an agency with
an agenda.
Very clear political agendas that they wanted to push. So
I don't care which side it is. Keep it out of business. Moreover,
business isn't politics. Keep business out of your.
Moreover,
out of your business.
Every ad agency out there should have a.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that. Any ad agency out there worth their salt should have a panel that they run. The literally they can do all the work. They run the final product past this panel that has no other input and any creativity. All they do is watch commercials. You pay
so a lot
$5 to watch that commercial, and
so a lot of agencies do that. They have control groups where they show the ads to. They say, "How do you feel about this? Does it trigger you? How do you?" It's a whole. So there's a lot of memes and jokes about it. I mean, you even see it in Mad Men. Like it's not a new concept.
I've not seen. I've never watched Mad Men or Sopranos or The Godfather.
No. Dude, no, watch Mad Men. It's a great show.
I might.
You need to watch Mad.
I like
everybody out there. No, watch Mad Men. You'll thank me. You will. Okay, here's the only thing about Mad Men. Okay, you got to get past the first episode, and the reason I say that is because they are really, really trying to drive home the fact this is set in the late 50s, and like literally everybody's smoking a cigarette at all times. Like apparently even the kids are like sitting there chain smoking cigarettes because it's the 50s. And like at one point, like one of the secretaries has like this comment about she's like copying out documents, like typing them out or something. And she's like, if only there was some kind of machine where you could push a button and it made a copy for you. And like, I think one of the other guys made a comment about, well, honey, this isn't science fiction. Why don't you get back to doing your job, smoking a cigarette. It's really bad 50s. Right, smacks her on the butt when she's walking by. But no, if you can get past the overly 50s first episode It's an amazing show. That's one of my all-time favorite shows.
Well, just as a side note here, Matt Harmon has joined us. Hello, Matt.
Oh boy!
Thanks for joining in here. And just like Matt, normally he starts off with hashtag ding dongs, which is something we haven't done in a long time, to be honest. We've really slacked off the ding dongs, and you haven't said Joe Rogan in like 4 episodes, man.
Oh, David, phrasing, David.
I didn't hear it. I'm going to run the next Vroom commercial.
Phrasing.
So let's see here. Scotch eggs, not scotch.
I like both.
His sentiment on Black Friday
in my scotch.
No. F Black
Sentiment
Friday.
On Black Friday.
F Black Friday. So friendly Black Friday is what he's saying. Friendly Black Friday.
He loves Black Friday.
Yeah, sure. Obviously. Do tell us your problem with sales. Yes, I love to go into detail here. He says hashtag Dave have another. Well,
that's not a problem.
I think we can cheers to that. Offensive puppets.
I'll drink the dead air.
Offensive puppets. To be honest, me being triggered by a woman with a puppet is a little bit of a weakness. I do not show well in that admission. I'm just saying I look at that and said, you know what? Somebody should have taken a second look at that commercial with their offensive puppets, which is pretty funny. Hershey's doesn't judge me. And I made the comment that I have never seen The Godfather, and he is we're not going to put those up on the screen. Some pretty strong opinions about me for not having watched The Godfather. So maybe one of these days when I've got hours of my life that I absolutely have nothing else to do with them.
Yeah, no, Godfather aside, watch Mad Men. You'll thank me. Matt, if you haven't seen Mad Men, thank me later. You'll
I've got every streaming service known to man, so
streaming on. I know it showed on AMC. I'm not sure where it streams. I don't even remember. Maybe Netflix?
We'll find it. I'll find it.
Yeah, we'll find it. So, okay. So you kind of skipped the answer to the question there. Do you believe that retailers increase prices specifically so they can mark them down before big sales?
Well,
because
I happen to know there are laws regarding sales. This is something that a lot of people believe this. A lot of people don't know. Is there are actually laws regarding sales that, let's take Kohl's. Okay, Kohl's, if you ever pay full price for anything at Kohl's, you're an idiot. I have paid full price for things at Kohl's. I'm an idiot. Back before I understood how it worked. You have to have something at a regular price within a certain amount of time. I don't know off the top of my head, or I would tell you. I think it might be as far out as 3 months. So it might be as far out as 90 days. But somewhere in that time frame, between 90 and 45 days, somewhere in that time frame, the price has to be at a higher price for you to be calling it a sale. That is law. That is you can't break that, and you can get hit with huge fines for a company that does that. So they can have an item at its regular price. Now, well, going down this rabbit hole further, there is the list price of an item. Yeah. And that is typically also referred to as MSRP, manufacturer suggested retail price. Okay. You should never pay MSRP for anything. That is usually 200 to 250% above the cost, meaning that it is 2 to 2.5 times. So let's say I spent $1 on it. I'm going to turn around and sell it to you for $2.50. Right. At MSRP or list cost. This is coming from my sales world, right? So I have to have it marked somewhere above. Let's say I want a 50% market. I want 50% margin. Me as a salesperson, I want to make 100% of my money back and 50% more. So that's 150% or a 1.5 margin. So I want everything at 1.5. So I can sell this item at 1.5 and call it a sell if I sold it for 1.8 before. And I can still advertise this as being below manufacturer suggested retail price or list price. Most people are going to go MSRP on it. The MSRP is $2.50. I'm selling to you for $1.80. Now I
Right.
can run this as a sale at $1.50 and get the margin that I want.
Right.
I'm still not cutting into my margin. Now, the other part of Black Friday is manufacturers actually build for Black Friday.
Yes, that's
Electronic
true. That's
yes.
true. Video
So,
game companies are notorious for this.
yes. And it's almost, in some cases, it's a contracted price. So,
Mm-hmm.
instead of saying, does everybody know what consignment is? So let's say we have a consignment shop. You take I want to sell my guitars. I don't, so don't try to make an offer. I'm not selling them. But let's say I take them to a consignment shop. They hang them on their shelf with my price tag on it. When they sell it, they get a small cut, and then I get my money. Almost every retailer operates off that same principle. Now, you can get these negotiated prices to where I'm buying X amount of these. So the manufacturer knows I'm not going to say no risk. I'm going to say low risk. Low risk to say, yep, I'm going to provide you 10,000 widget A's and 10,000 widget B's.
Okay.
At this price, which is significantly lower because I now have a guaranteed sell, a guaranteed price, a guaranteed return on my investment with your purchase. Lower the risk, lower the price. So they've negotiated that out. So it's not necessarily, yes, there are some places that will inflate the prices going up, and then you can drop them down. Not in anything that I would say is an illegal fashion, because I just went over the $2.50 to the regular $1.80 price. Well, now I can still claim I'm selling below MSRP, but then I can have a sale that takes it down to $1.50, and I'm still making my margin. So I've already explained all that. So, and that's how these buildups, that's how that buildup works. And that's how you get back down to this sale. But then there's this other aspect of being able to do contract groups of products. And then there's people that just, hey, we're going to put these things on sale for Black Friday. And then other people that, I'm rambling here. You get me going.
Wait, hang on a second. You're just now starting to ramble?
Next up is customer service. The last time you got me like this was you said, "Hey, Dave, I don't want you to talk to me about customer service before the show because I was heated." You're like, "Do it on the air," and I tore that thing up all night. But anyway, back to it. So no, I'm not rambling. Get out of here. We went very concise. We've showed you this block of how they do it. I've showed you another block of how they do it. And there could be 50 more blocks that I actually don't have a clue about. But I know that these two exist and they are the largest players when it comes to Black Friday. Back to you in the studio.
No, fair. Those are fair points. That was a very long way of saying that. No, you don't believe they increased the prices specifically to mark them back down.
Wait, ask me the question again.
Do you believe that retailers mark up prices specifically so they can mark them down for big sales?
No.
There you go.
Now, which is more entertaining?
You are entertaining, David. I'll do that.
Wait. I got to share this comment. Matt Harmon would like for the world to know that West's voice is like honey.
I've been told this. Like honey.
It's very soothing and has antibiotic properties.
I have that effect on middle-aged men. All right. So this is for everybody listening, including you, David. This is for everybody listening also. Okay. How much of a discount would it take to get you to go out to shopping on Black Friday? Like going out, lining up at like 3 a.m., that whole thing. What would it take to get you out there?
Well, I did that before, and it was 75%.
All right. Everybody listening, type in your answers in the comments. I want to hear your answers. So I have some stats here. Let's see. 15% of Americans say they would need at least a 90% discount to get them out there shopping. Now, some slightly less imaginative Americans, so that was 15%. However, 19% might have lower ambitions because they say only 50% discount would get them out shopping.
Jiminy Christmas. You guys want to bankrupt these companies? Johan Calendar would like to chime in and say free stuff.
Well, John's on the right track, I think, because 42% of Americans say there is no discount possible that would get them out shopping. We're catching a theme here that people really don't want to go out for Black Friday. I agree. That sounds like the worst thing ever to me. I want nothing to do with it.
I'm going because I don't know. I might find a special eggnog container that's only going to be available on Black Friday.
No, you know the answer to that? I'll tell you the answer to that. It's called Amazon. They fixed it.
The amount of stuff I have coming between now and Sunday Amazon, it's I think pushing $600-700.
I believe it.
So whenever I know I'm going to do something on Amazon or something like that, I never wait for sales. I don't go looking. I order it as fast as I can. I'm more concerned, and this is actually something that and John Calendar makes a good thing here about the Cyber Monday, which we'll talk about briefly.
Oh yeah,
but this impacts Cyber Monday even more so than it will Black Friday. Because Black Friday, if you're out there, you put your hands on that effing toaster, you put it in your cart, guess what you've got? You've got a toaster. You click on the button on some website to purchase something in right now, and I can go and give you some, I'm not going to, but I can give you some crazy stats. I've already went on my allotted rant for tonight, but some crazy stats and crazy information on the supply chain, on product moving, transportation, clear across the board, what's happening on trying to get them off the boat out off of California, even things in Florida, clear across the country. Every step of this, manufacturing from mining raw product all the way through to somebody putting it on a shelf in the store or picking it off a shelf or putting it on a shelf in a warehouse, a distribution warehouse. If you think you're going to be able to wait to buy this year, you're wrong.
100%. And that is a great segue. It's almost as if you read the notes. That is an amazing segue into the next point. The supply chain issues, man. The supply chain issues are the real wild card this year, right? Because the thing is,
you could go. Go ahead. I was going to fill up time until you caught your brains there.
No, so here's the thing. So because of the supply chain issues, we all know they exist. Stores just don't have the same inventory. They don't have access to the same inventory, even if they wanted to the same products or the same number of products. So how is this going to impact how we go Black Friday shopping? Here's how. You are very definitely going to see fewer markdowns on smaller ticket items that you would have seen in the past. If you do see markdowns, they're going to be much smaller markdowns than you've seen in the past. However, what you will see is much bigger, much deeper markdowns on bigger ticket items like TVs, computers, things like that, specifically to draw in the bigger crowds. However, what you need to remember is those big ticket items are very limited in store. Very, very limited. So even though you're going to see a $99 laptop or a $100 giant screen, top of the line 8K TV for, $100, they're going to have two of them. And when it's gone, guess what? The ads are already out there. So they're still bringing people in based on this ad they've been sold out of since 2 a.m. And you need to keep that in mind when you're shopping. If you waited till right now to do your shopping, you might already be too late for some of those items you really wanted to get.
There were certain items that the juvenile delinquents that live in my house wanted, and it was the big things. They're done. They're done. Because I know, because of all the issues that we have that I deal with on literally a daily basis, like 90% of the phone calls and emails that I take are based upon have no control over it whatsoever, but 90% of my phone calls that I deal with deals with that. I know the crunch. I know the pinch. I've talked to retailers. I've talked to suppliers. I've talked to warehouses. Everything from logistics drivers for the trucks, people to pick the trucks, forklift drivers. I mean, the amount of people that it takes to make this world go round,
Right.
for some reason, it's just not there. It's not there. The amount of jobs. What's the? I hate to pull numbers right out here, but I want to know what the current unemployment rate is. Current unemployment numbers in the U.S., which this goes to show you. So this is, Wes and I were laughing. I think it was it Sunday night we were on here, or Monday night, whatever night it was. We were just goofing around, just as a friendly hoo ha ha, and we were talking about search engine or search histories. If somebody got a hold of my computer and looked at my search history, well, a lot of people think it's going to be one thing, and I typed in current. And it immediately popped up with my search history stuff, current unemployment numbers in the U.S. So if anybody was to ever crack into my stuff and be like, oh, what is this guy looking at? You're going to be woefully disappointed because you're going to look at unemployment benefits. Yeah. So we're at, we have 2 million unemployment insurance claims with an effective unemployment rate at 4.6. It should be 0 because there's jobs everywhere. But I also am of the same thing going, well, a job is not a job. And if you're not attracted to it, you don't want to do it. If it's just not what you're going to do, you're going to be miserable doing it.
Yep.
If it were me, I'd probably hold out too if I was able to.
Look, you mentioned the Great Resignation earlier. Yeah. You mentioned the Great Resignation earlier. There are a huge number of people who are just holding out because they believe they can do better. And since there are so many jobs available and companies keep increasing the wages they're willing to pay for jobs, more than they've been paying in recent years, maybe it's not a bad idea for those people to hold out. However, if they hold out too long, it's gonna look really bad in the resume, but 2, the job they really want is gonna be taken by somebody who's willing to actually show up. But that's a different conversation altogether. So look, supply chain issues. If you have been holding out to buy the things you really want to get for your family, don't wait. Go out and get what you need right now. Yeah. In fact, a lot of retailers will do Black Friday guarantees, where they'll say that they won't drop the price any further than it was on Black Friday, or if you pay more for it later, you can actually show them one of their own ads or a competitor's ad from Black Friday and get it for the same price. So look into that. A lot of retailers I know are doing that this year. And that's one of the ways they're actually bringing people in because, like I said, smaller items aren't going to have the same markdowns as bigger items. But another big part of this isn't just supply chain issues. This is something else a lot of people are feeling, which is inflation. And we're not going to get into the politics of inflation. We're not going to get into the politics of why it might be happening, why now, any of that.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough for certain people to think about inflation without the political connotation that comes along with it. Those are the people who don't fully understand how it happens. What are the contributing factors of it? Yes, some of it is the political policies of the people in charge. It could be from a federal level. It could be from a state level. It could be from your freaking municipality or even your homeowners association. There are things that just that happen, and those policies are what in fact impact it. So we're not going to talk about the politics, but we may brush against some policies. And
there you go. That's fair. That's fair.
It goes with both. I hate saying both sides because in my narrow-minded, bigoted way, I think there should be more than 2 sides. I mean, how narrow-minded am I? I should have more than 2 voices. Well, we can have crap or worse crap. Well, sometimes this is worse crap, and that's not as bad. It's just, but anyway, so we're not going to talk about politics, but we might brush up against policies and certain things. So again, it's not meant to get into an argument about the political, which party, it doesn't matter to us. What matters is what either one of the parties do impacts inflation.
Right.
It impacts the supply chain. And when you yes. And when you have the 2 things that went back to back of the last we'll call it regime to the current regime, it was just about the perfect storm to create some hyperinflation.
Right. And the political tensions overseas are also a big part of it. In addition, look, even though there are MSRPs associated with specific products, supply chain issues also lead to inflation on a certain level because of the simple law of supply and demand. If there are fewer of a specific product going around, there are more people who are willing to pay more for that product, get their hands on it because they want it. And there are people who will take advantage of this and raise the price. Now, it may not be the Walmart price that you would get, but if you want to go to Joe Blow's down the street who actually has the product, you might expect to pay a little bit more.
Yep.
Just simple fact of the matter. But here's the thing. So with inflation, the cost of goods goes up, right? You need to understand retailers aren't charities. They're not going to eat that extra cost. They're still going to make the profit they want to make.
Yep.
And as part of this, they need to raise their prices. And because they're raising their prices, your dollar doesn't go as far. Your dollar is worth less, which is inflation, which is why you have stories from, 50 years ago, 80 years ago, where it would take, $1,000 to buy a loaf of bread. You look at Zimbabwe right now. Don't they have like a $200 billion bill or something like that?
Zimbabwe would have been is a excellent for hyperinflation, an excellent example for hyperinflation. Then Venezuela is literally, you can watch this happen in a lifetime over the past 4 to 5 years, and it's not stopping. Hyper runaway inflation.
Right. So we're not. Luckily, we're not at Zimbabwe or Venezuela right now. But the thing is, look, if there are more people who are feeling their dollar is worth less than it was, a couple of years ago, they're less likely to go out and buy the big ticket items. They're more likely to spend their money on necessities this year over the luxury items. Now, how that affects retailers, it's a little foggy right now because, again, retailers are still going to be have huge markdowns on their big ticket items, while their necessity items are most likely not going to have their as deep markdowns, if any at all.
Yep, that's right.
So there are still a lot of people out there with a lot of money. They're itching to spend it. But the amount of people who are going to be affected by supply chain issues and inflation, that sort of thing is really that. The number of people who are being affected by those things is really increasing.
And if it continues, Jenny Carlson jumped on here, says, "Hi guys, happy Thanksgiving." Hello to you.
Jenny Carlson, hey.
Just for those of you guys who don't know, Jenny is the proud owner of Jenny's Pleasure Bus. You can visit her at jennyspleasurebus.com, and all your pleasure bus needs will be fulfilled. Now, we're talking about the increase in spending. We've seen it from 2019 to 2020. Even with a 1.7% did I get that number right? I'm pretty sure. 1.7% decrease in actual shoppers. We had a significant 14% increase, 14 point blah, 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 increase in revenue spent.
Yep.
Now, if we stay this course, if inflation continues to build,
19% revenue increase from 2019
okay, so a 19% revenue increase. So if we stay the course and these day-to-day items are continuing, these natural gas is on par to double from last year to this year.
The reasoning for that, we could explain the technical reasons for that. However, considering the people who signed the paperwork to make those actions take place are driven by very specific economic policies, we would have to go very deep into the political waters to actually.
I'm just saying that your monthly spend is going up. The price for
the price per tank of gas.
Oh, dear Lord, trust me. I have 2 vehicles. that take premium freaking gas. And
Mhm.
every time I pull up in that gas station, I'm like, do they really need it? And I always buy
Do
it,
you?
but
And most people don't even realize part of the cost of the good they just purchased is the amount that it took to put gas in the truck that drove it from
yep,
the
that's
drove the
the
pieces to
yep,
the manufacturers, from the manufacturers to the distributors, from the distributors to the store.
yep.
There are fuel costs involved
On and
that
on and
people
on
just
and on.
don't think
And it
about.
keeps adding. And so you're getting this multiplier on that. And oh, we're going to run way out of time before we can delve down that. You know what?
That's a different show.
We'll do it. Well, I think this is an after dark show. I think this is a mastermind show because it
Good
can
point.
go way too close to politics, not just policies.
Well, look, what if we did like a supply chain show where we actually talk about the supply chain and how it works and some of the bottlenecks that are happening right now?
Yeah, actually, that'd be a great idea.
Yeah,
I foresee us having a bit of a breakdown or a breakup on this and kind of normalizing around the end of Q2 of next year. That is what I've been saying
fair.
March of all, and I read some just stupid stuff, guys. All right, I really do. I get into some really nerdy things that you all would look at and go, "What in the world is that?" I read the other day a article on corn futures.
Look, corn futures are huge.
Corn futures.
Not corn futures are huge. Well, we can talk about corn futures because not only well, it's a nerdy show. Yeah, that's I
Yes.
get it.
So we get into a lot of things, but you basically what I was trying to get back to finish out that thought so we can wrap it up and put a bow on it is that we're going to have, if this continues, if the inflationary impact continues, and your daily, weekly, monthly spend continues to be X amount more, and to be honest, I would rather that than the dollars out there keep raising too, because that's exactly what causes hyperinflation. We're going
Right.
to have a whole different show in November of next year when we talk about the amount of goods are out there, the amount of
Yes.
dollars that are available to get them.
Well, that's absolutely true. So this is actually kind of another point that I didn't really get to. Now, the dollars to get them doesn't really lead into this, but in January, right? So between now and January, or Q1 at least,
Okay.
we're going to see a lot of the supply chain issues taper off because there are people working, triple time, getting these ships unloaded, getting these products to the stores so you can buy
Yep.
them. Now, they won't be here in time for Christmas. However, Q1 of 2022, they'll be there. Now, what you're going to be looking at, however, is product that has been sitting on a ship for 18 months,
Yep.
possibly in some cases, meaning there are going to be a lot of possibly outdated products that are no longer the current style these retailers are trying to push.
I've got a
Maybe
new
even some
fedora,
outdated,
and my
maybe even some
fedora might be out
outdated,
of style by the time it gets here.
maybe even some outdated, slightly outdated technology could be coming to stores. Which means those outdated products, stores are going to push them. They're going to have these things on sale Q1. On top of that, here's something not everybody's considering either. Since the way stores operate right now, the way retailers operate right now, most retailers don't have massive stock rooms in the back where they keep months and months worth of supply of products.
No,
It,
that's
they did
gone.
years ago. It doesn't work that way anymore. Meaning, when a truck comes in to restock a store, in most cases it goes straight out to the floor. It doesn't go to a back room. Now, how does this relate to the supply chain issue with all these boats sitting offshore? Well, that product, when it gets to the store, it may not have any place to go. Meaning, these stores will also have to mark down those products specifically just to move it out to make room for other stuff. So expect that also. So even though we may
Yep.
not see the best deals on day-to-day items right now in
Yeah, people
Q1,
like
I think we will see some much better deals. However, like you said, by this time next year, by November 2022, if inflation keeps going the way it's going, there may be more products, but
yeah,
your dollar may be worth less than it is currently. So it may not go as far.
yes. I would, on the advice portion of tonight's show, I would actually keep an eye out on places like Big Lots and Ollie's.
Yeah, I happen to have done work for some of those places, and
I would keep an eye out at Big Lots and Ollie's. I think you're gonna be primed to find some stuff in good things, because again, we're gonna have, they're gonna have that backlog, and that backlog,
right,
once it clears, that backlog is going to go short. So the lifespan, because we're going to have the new product, the up to date product coming in
right,
minutes after the last year's product hit the shelf.
right. So places like you said, Big Lots and Ollie's, they're what's called discount retailers, and what they do, their business model, in general, is to buy overstock from other stores, to buy items that are, if not out of date, almost out of date. They buy as much as they can. They put it in their stores. They mark it down slightly, and you get it for a better price than you would have gotten it at this other place. So I think not only will you see big places like Big Lots and Ollie's doing well, you may even see other discount retailers pop up and make a name for themselves. I think that's totally possible.
We'll end on this. We're pushing quite big. And apparently my son's home, which is setting my dog into a frenzy. If you look at Facebook, you will find it. I don't care where you live. You will find somebody that's selling pallets of goods.
Yes.
And keep an eye there, because you are going to see tons of this stuff coming through.
Yeah. Now, look, how that can work for you. And I know you said you're going to stop there, but that brings up a great point. There's actually something.
That's a business opportunity.
Everybody, this is a business opportunity. Everybody watching and listening, now or in the future, Google something called retail arbitrage. Retail arbitrage. Now, what these people do is they will go to retail stores and they'll buy as much clearance stuff as they can, as many clearance items as they can from Walmart, all these places. They get it for next to nothing. Yep. What they do then is they go back home and they sell the exact same product for full price on Amazon.
Yep.
And that difference in price between the clearance price and what they sold it for, that's pure profit. And if they can buy stuff by the pallet, guess what? They're going to do that every day of the week. Yep. There are some people pulling down 6-7 figures in some cases, just on retail arbitrage. That's a real thing.
Hey, Matt Hamlin popped in. Matt Hamlin popped in and said, "Hey guys, I know that he came in a little late there. I know it's been over there sitting there for a while, but I wanted to make, we try to always we always try to interact and have a shout out to any of the guys that anybody that pops on and talks with us. So I think it's about time to put a bow on this one. I think we've been enough rabbit holes tonight. The mastermind, hit us up on Facebook if you want to link to the mastermind. We'll shoot it over to you, and we'll see you on the next one.
We'll see you next time.
Wait, I got to click the button this time. Crap.
You got to click the button. My button isn't working because
you guys just tune out. What button do I got? Do I click the button that says finish?
They tuned out a long time ago. Yeah, hit finish.
Finish.
And then hit end. I think end broadcast. Something like that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, Fruit of the Loom.
Later.
That's a terrible end off. We can't end it there.
Are we?
No, we're still on.
I've been West.
We got to do it.
This guy's been David.
There we go. All right, do it again.
And happy Thanksgiving. I've been West. This guy's been David. And between the two of us, happy Thanksgiving.